Welcome to the Arches and Columns channel. Today, we will be taking a closer look at the Old World Gloria Day Lutheran Church in Duluth, Minnesota, supposedly built in 1906. And she is located at 219 North 6th Avenue East in Duluth, Minnesota. And to the south, you can see the north shore of Lake Superior in the distance. And they tell us that in 1905, Reverend Carl Solomonson formed a building committee that hired Duluth architect and Swedish immigrant Carl Nystrom to design a new church. The resulting structure was a brick building resting on a foundation of Lake Superior brownstone. Nystrom's design was a classic example of Gothic architecture, featuring lancet windows and doorways, a pair of square corner towers, and tower buttresses, both towers decorated with castellations and pyramidal corners. Originally served as entrance vestibules, each with a stairway leading to a recessed brick entry. The northeast tower was originally capped with a hexagonal steeple topped by a cross. And our historical picture is from circa 1913. And looking closer here in the photo, circa 1913, we can see there's still stairways in the front. The entrances, those have since been removed, as you saw in the pictures previously, and there's a few buried windows there still exposed. Interesting, this makes it more symmetrical here, having these stairways. And you can see in the front, we have trolley tracks and dirt-covered roads, and the sidewalks appear to have planks or boards there covering the gaps. Seems kind of primitive for what we see with this building here. And then we have power lines, and then these mysterious pole here. Looks kind of like a wireless pole, maybe. There's just a wire tied to it. Kind of mysterious. Then we have this door that's still accessible at this point. You see before it was covered up now. And looking here at the cornerstone, since this plaque has been put over it, this plaque is kind of nebulous. It doesn't give a build date, but it does give an organized date, as the church was organized in 1876. Maybe that's a clue as to actually when this building was repurposed. And zooming back out here, we can see there's one remaining steeple here still, which gives us a strange asymmetrical look. I find it hard to believe it was designed this way, with being such a perfectly symmetrical structure. But who knows? But since that has been taken down, which is too bad, and this brickwork sure looks aged for 8 years old, as we're told here in this picture. Now here is how I would imagine this was designed to look. It's hard to believe it would be asymmetrical with such precision. Tragically, a fire in February of 2016 gutted the building, destroying the windows and the historic interior artwork and woodwork. Until 1933, this church was referred to as the first Swedish evangelical Lutheran church. And in 1933, she changed her name to the Gloria Day Lutheran Church, which it maintains today. The church underwent major renovations in 1946, 1993, and 2017. And in 1959, an addition was added to the south side of the building for education and office space. And we are told that the architect of this building was Carl E. Nystrom, born in 1868, died in 1944. He was a Swedish-born architect who immigrated to the United States in 1890. He was largely self-taught, of course he was, through apprenticeships. He worked in northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan before briefly practicing in Michigan's Copper County around 1900 to 1901, where he maintained an office in Laria, Michigan, on the Upper Peninsula. Now they tell us this architect, in the course of 1 year, had built 7 structures in the UP of Michigan, and here's a quick view of them. You can see they are all substantial, and most of them are still standing today. And in the city of Duluth, besides the church in front of you, Nystrom then built this church the next year in just a few months, supposedly. And this one was finished in 1908. And then in 1910, in just a few months, he built this 150-room hotel, the Hotel Holland, supposedly. Very interesting. And quite an interesting story indeed. Remember, to recap, in 1905, it was the Reverend Solomonson, interesting name, that formed a building committee that hired Duluth architect and Swedish immigrant Carl Nystrom to design it. And then we are told that Reverend Solomonson then leads a dedication ceremony on August 19th of 1906. And this timeline would have led to a maximum of a 14.5-month build time on this structure back in the years 1905 and 1906. And I find these timelines questionable, to say the least. But what do you folks think? As always, please leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.